This is probably one of the few occasions I've ever known Andy to be on time for a show. Javelle, Amber, Maria, Brett, Natalie, Dale, Karen, Jana, and associated families. The event of Easter Sunday is really difficult to get our heads around. It's difficult to understand how a father, husband, son, brother or friend can be just snatched away trying to save someone else. And I feel privileged to stand here now and celebrate the lives of those two mates. I spent a huge amount of time working, competing, laughing, crying, and I guess a bit of pudding, drinking with both of them. And there are many stories of which we'll share a few, and also share with you the roles that they continually played as volunteers, which people have said before and they'll say after me. And years ago, I was working at the farm, and one Sunday morning I had to muster the cows for Poe. And at that stage there was no full motorbikes or anything like that, and they had a horse called Wheels. So Poe took pity on me when he seen my state Sunday morning and decided it'd be much better for everyone if he got the cows in, which I agreed. Now, as he mounted the horse, I thought I'd give him a hand. So I reached down and gave him a leg up, which consequently Poe went straight across the other side, flattened his back, and he wasn't very happy at all. I kept my job though. Now Poe and Andy, they're very social, and I guess that's a bit of an understatement. But one day, Poe's mate, Lank Anderson, was going to Perth for a trip or a holiday or something. So Poe decided he was going to have a drink at Ellisford with his mate, which they did. They had another one at Warrnambool, Port Fairy, and so on, until Poe ended up in Perth. And I guess he was running a little bit short of money, and I guess he wanted to change his clothes. They were a bit putrid by then. And so in them days, there was no phones. Oh, there was phones, there was no mobile phones and that, so you used to communicate by telegrams. So you had to keep them pretty short and sharp and sweet because you were charged by the word. So Poe sent this telegram to his father, GB, and along the lines, I think I've got it fairly right, as having fun, no mun, send some, your son. To which promptly the reply came back from Poe's dad, GB, oh gee, that's sad, come home, your dad. So I'm not sure how long Poe stayed in Perth for, but he didn't really want to get a job, but he needed some money. I don't know how much GB sent him, so he thought, I'll apply for the dole. I'll get some dole money, that'll keep me going. So it was pretty easy in them days, it wasn't as strict as it is now. So he went down to the dole office and had a bit of a plan in mind, so we filled out the forms, they asked him some questions. So what sort of work do you do, Mr. Powell? And he thought, well, I don't really want a job, so I've got to come up with something that they can't find. So he said, I'm a merry-go-round operator. And he never got any jobs either. In 1969, Poe joined the Cliff Rescue Squad, which is now the Port Campbell SES. He's been a huge cog in the wheel of that organisation, becoming a training officer and attending many car accidents, cliff incidents, etc. His expertise on the cliff top and cliff face is exemplary, and he never refused to call out. In November 2005, Poe became a life member of this organisation, and in March this year, he passed 50 years of continuous service. Andy became a full member of the Port Campbell SES in 2005. He quickly learnt all the necessary skills, and he took over from his father, either going over a cliff or on the front line cutting people from smashed up cars. His ability to do something once and not remember how to do it was remarkable and it amazed me. And I know he would have become a great trainer and even probably stepped up to be a controller. In 1963, the Port Campbell Surf Club was formed, and Powell was a founding member, and he's still a very active member this year, right through. He held many positions over that time, including club captain and many years as president, where he led us with unfaltering wisdom and passion. Along with John Eudes and Keith Gray, he was in our inaugural life member. He loved his surf boats. He became a sweeper at an early age. His crew always knew when there's a big one coming. He put the speedos down the jocks. Sorry, he put the teeth down the speedos. Got that wrong, didn't I? Same thing. And there used to be surf boat racing on the Yarra at Moomba, which Port Campbell used to go to. And Port Campbell in their race, and as in those days, used it at the back of the field. So Poe decided, sweeping the boat, steering it, he decided that he would do something special. He rode it high and dry up a ski jump. Just after that, a mud fight started on the banks with Port Campbell in the middle of it. One member, I'm not sure if it was Poe or not, let go of the handful of mud, missed the target, only to hit a high-ranking state centre official who was dressed in white. I think we were banned for life from Moomba, and surf boats were never asked back. Poe swept and coached for many years. He's never more prouder than when he had his kids in the surf boat as a crew. He was made a life member of the Victorian Surf Boat Rowers in 2003, and even after retirement from competition still offered advice and coaching. On the 6th of April 1980, a person was washed off a ledge near Lockhart Gorge. His mate jumped in to help him, and they both somehow managed to get out to swim out to sea, the only option they had. Ross Powell and Paddy Plozza launched an IRB from Port Campbell, and in huge seas made the 8 to 10 kilometre trip with no radios, no backup boat, because the local fishermen thought the sea was too big. They saved those two people from certain death in extraordinary circumstances, and were awarded certificates of merit for their selfless courage and bravery. Poe was the backbone in getting a new clubhouse at the Surf Club. He was the backbone. He was the one that got the Pelican manual up and running. He just recently, as I think Natalie said, he completed a very detailed map of our area from Moonlight Heads to Childers Cove, covering every point, every bay, every nickname, every name, and went with GPS positions, which no mean feat, took a long time. And this is just to help in any future rescues. These are on the wall of the Surf Club, if anyone goes down there. They're on the wall of the police station and also the SES shop. It's a reminding legacy of Poe. Now, Andy gained his bronze medallion in 2003 and was destined to follow in the footsteps of his father, as with everything else. He held the positions of boat captain and club captain and highly involved with the power boats. Like his dad, he became a highly skilled driver and instructor, and again, like his dad, always put his hand up to help someone in trouble. His forte, though, was surf boats. And after unsuccessful attempts at junior crews, he joined my crew, eventually becoming a stroke. He was a quick learner. He became a great boatman with a never give up attitude. He would take it hard if we lost and celebrate if we won. Actually, I think he'd celebrate it if we lost even. He was developing into a very good coach and was here apparent as a sweep. And one day he said to me, "Maz, you've been my only sweep." And I said, "Andy, let's keep it that way." He said, "Why?" I said, "Then you'll never know whether I'm any good or not." He loved competition in the boats. His eyes would light up if there was a wave on. You know, he also loved going to the Aussies. He hadn't won anything on the big stages yet, but that would have come. But it wasn't from lack of effort or endeavour. But he'd know how to party. If you had a couple of pots or a couple of VB subbies with Andy, you were his friend for life. Didn't matter what club or who you were, he still found time to make people wanted and feel important. Now, women. With looks like Andy, you'd imagine they come hard and fast towards him, but it seems to be the harder they chased, the quicker Andy run. And one Aussie in particular, there was two women trying to get Andy's attention, and I didn't take much notice until we got back to Victoria. We had the Victorian presentation night in some place in Melbourne, and the same two girls were standing at Andy, one each side. And so, me being me, I just walked up to Andy and looked at him and said, "Andy, what are you going to do now?" And he looked at me just stone-faced. So I asked him again. So he just smiled, picked up his beer, walked off, left the two girls and started drinking with the Morty boys. A little while later, a rumour surfaced that he had a girlfriend. And he brought her along to a show at the surf club called the Oktoberfest. And I was behind the bar, just serving, and I was looking up and said, "Andy, you're doing pretty well here." Anyway, this lady came up, so I introduced myself, and she said her name was Amber. I said, "Well, I'm Maz." So we spoke for a little bit, and I said, "Amber, can I tell you something?" She said, "Yes." I said, "I think Andy's punching above his weight." She said, "Thank you for the compliment." So then Andy came up and said, "What were you talking to my partner about?" I said, "I'm just telling you you're punching above your weight." And then I said to him, "I don't think you better let this one go." And yeah, that's this history. What else impressed me that night was Amber drinking him under the table. We were going to have a show at the surf club last Saturday night, which a few of us were about to sing at, and Powell was really happy. He wanted to hear some songs, and so we thought it was appropriate perhaps if we did one today.